Hello, and welcome to the Bot Nirvana podcast, where we dive into all things software automation. I'm your host, Nandan Mullakra. While I'm not podcasting, I write articles on nandan.info. I hope you enjoy the show. Let's get right into it. Today we have Pascal. He is a key influencer in the intelligent automation space, as many of you may know. He has around 250,000 followers on LinkedIn and keeps sharing amazing content. He's passionate about intelligent automation and how it can make our world better, more human. A senior executive with more than 20 years of experience, he has led the AI and automation practices for McKinsey and EY. I spoke to him on a wide variety of topics, from his new book, Intelligent Automation, and how he sees the space evolving. Let's listen in. Thanks, Pascal, for making time today to talk to us. I understand you've taken quite a bit of time to go through this and writing this book. So I wanted to understand, from your perspective, Pascal, what is the motivation to write this book? I think it took around 18 months, right? So what kept you going?
Correct. Thanks. And first of all, Neden, thanks for having me, and I'm very happy to share my passion with you today. And indeed, this book has been a very long journey. It took my co-authors and I 18 months to write it.
Wow.
My co-authors are Jan Barkin. Jan Barkin is an entrepreneur based in the US who created the first pure play in intelligent automation consulting firms called Symphony. It was about 6 years ago, right. And he sold it for a few $60 million a few months ago, like a year ago. Right. The other co-author is Johan Wiers, Vice Dean at the National University of Singapore. Mm-hmm. Who is a professor in marketing. So he brought a lot in terms of customer experience, and he brought also the structure to the book and to the and as you said, the fact that this book is readable, accessible, understandable by everyone. Okay, he's as an academic, he's very focused on making sure that the language is as clean as possible, and we've had to rework a lot of things based on his advice. So the reason why we wanted to write this book is over the years we've seen. And especially I and Jan as well, working in consulting and helping companies implement those transformations in intelligent automation. We've constantly explained, repeated, informed, educated around what is intelligent automation, what are the critical success factors in implementing it, why and how, what to take care of, what it is. I mean, all those very basic questions, and there was really a need, in our views, to clarify all this. So this book is the first one on the topic of intelligent automation, and we thought there was really a need to kind of build the foundation of this new field. Okay. I say that it's a new field because it's been coined by IEEE only 3 years ago, and no book really has been focusing on it till that time. So we really thought it was there was a need, not only to communicate, educate CEOs, management on what it is and what they can expect from it and how to use it, but also in the intelligent automation community, start to build the basis for this field that is just a starting point of what we are doing. Okay, right. But at least a foundation on which we could build. And that could be useful for all of us in the community.
Yeah, Okay.
So
Yep.
those are the two key aspects. First was more education. The second was more building, starting to build a field that is brand new and that is very promising in our views.
Yeah, perfect. And thank you for that, because this, as you know, there's a lot of jargon out there and a lot of confusion, as you say. And interestingly, people come out with more and more terms, right? Like Gartner came out with hyper automation. And then, yeah, there was intelligent automation, there's robotic process automation. And interestingly, one of the analysts came up with hyper intelligent automation, combining all these things. Um, so, yeah, I think there's a need for clarifying what is there. And I like how you've brought it out in a very simple manner, right? Like you say that intelligent automation, it's a concept leveraging the newer generation of software-based automation. So at the core of it, we are looking at doing software-based automation, right? And that's what that's our goal is. And unfortunately, we have a lot of confusion because of all these things. So when you were writing the book, and because when I wrote the book, when we wrote the book on RPA, as we were going down that path, Automation Anywhere suddenly came up with a new version, and then we had to move to a new version in terms of doing the projects. So, in your experience writing this project over a longer period of time, 18 months, you said. So, did this new terms come up? Because I see that you say it is intelligent automation, also called hyper automation. So, so did you have some debate on that? What you wanted to call the book?
Yes, definitely a lot of debates. You can't imagine.
Okay.
And you're right. Those terms. First of all, there is a huge variety of terms that are used, and most of them are used for commercial reasons.
Right.
Trying to show that one vendor is doing something different from another.
Correct.
Yeah, it's been definitely difficult to agree on those on the definition of each of those terms. And one of the key inputs that helped us a lot is a survey that we've done across 200 plus intelligent automation practitioners. This was 11 months ago, and that helped us a lot to take basically the perception of the most of those people across on what they think it is, and it also comforted us on the fact that our views were not so bad, and at least shared amongst the most of those people working in the field. So the survey has been a very important tool in giving us the confidence that we were doing the right thing. And also it was very important for us not to carve in stone something that would be only coming from us, but it's very important that it's coming from the community. Okay, so it's not only our voice, but the voice of more than 200 people, and the name of those people, by the way, is it's in the book at the end of the book. So to thank them for their participation.
Okay. So there was a consensus in the name or what people wanted to refer it to it, or in terms of what it is or the definition.
Yeah, the definitions, what it is. We had a few. Quite a long questionnaire that was around what are the technologies that you think are part of intelligent automation. So it was on the framework itself, but also on the key success factors of implementing it. So it was quite complete, and that was very helpful for us to make sure that we were in the right way.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's good to know, because as I've heard earlier about people they put Google ads with the book title just to check out which title resonates with people, and that's very interesting. For example, one of them is the 4 Hour Work Week. I don't know if you've heard of that book, but they say
Yes.
they put Google ads to actually come up with the title for that book, and which is interesting, and it did succeed a lot. Um, so that's great. Great to know that you guys did a survey, and then it's all backed by understanding from practitioners in the space. So I like the framework that you bring about in terms of what intelligent automation means, right? Like the language, the vision, the execution, thinking. I used to call it the sense, think, and act, and I see here there's
Mhm.
a language aspect too. Um, so from your perspective, this whole framework. Are you laying out a framework to talk about IA or talk about intelligent automation and how to implement intelligent automation?
So in the book, we've tried to to define what is intelligent automation. As you said, it is a combination. It's a concept which is a combination of methods that includes people, organization, processes, but also of technologies. And when you come to those technologies, you have, as you said, those four capabilities that form kind of four buckets of, as you said, senses that would mimic what an employee would do on a computer, and so that gives a framework to understand what it is, but also how to build a roadmap of implementation of those technologies, and also how to build a team of people, basically a team of skills working on those topics. Very often we see in those companies teams of data scientists being isolated from the teams of RPA developers, and being isolated from the teams of chatbots and natural language processing. So it's really about bringing all those together to create synergies and being able to address the most complex end-to-end process needs in terms of automation in companies. So there is this framework that really is helpful, and also we provide other frameworks in terms of implementation of those transformations. And I really am very careful here when I say transformations and not implementation of technologies, because a key aspect in those frameworks is around people, change management, support from management, vision, capability building, skills, talent management. So those aspects are very important as well on top of the technology, and sometimes even more important than the technology. And we provide in the book a package of all those elements that are critical to ensuring the success of an intelligent automation transformation. And we make it very simple, very easy to use for a practitioner, for a project manager, for a developer. Very practical, with a lot of examples. I mean, you've been able to see a lot of case illustrations where we go into the examples of how it's been implemented in one company or another. So we've tried to make it as pragmatic as possible. And as you said, not only we've talked to the CEO, explaining the vision, the reason of these transformations, and the way management should support and drive those transformations. Secondly, we've done it for practitioners, project managers, developers, for them to really have an entry point frameworks to implement, to make sure that they have all the leading practices the companies that have succeeded in those transformations. But thirdly, talked about the impact, the societal impact of intelligent automation, where we talk about the future of work, the future of education. What does it mean in terms of wealth sharing for the future, and what does it mean in terms of our lives, and the reason why we are here on Earth? Okay, so it's a very complete portfolio of ideas that we thought was very compelling, and that is perfect for anyone, whether you're an expert in the domain or whether you're very new to it, and you especially want to understand what is the impact of all this on employment and our lives.
Okay, great. So yeah, I mean, this is a framework on intelligent automation, and as you say, it's basically a way to achieve business outcomes through automation with no or minimal human intervention. So you mentioned multiple use cases or ways you can do it. Like you said, you brought it into way it's a pragmatic level. So from your perspective, Pascal, what are the use cases that you see? You like probably what's one of your favorite use cases, and how that fits into this framework of language, vision, execution, and thinking.
Difficult question, because there are many ones that I like for different reasons. But maybe the ones that I like the most are the ones that are understandable by most people. And I think, for example, a procure to pay end-to-end process automated is something that resonates in most people's mind. Every company around the world is procuring goods from vendors, and any of the companies around the world have to use a procure to pay end-to-end process. And so I like to cite this example for this reason. So it starts with the identification of the need for any company to buy goods. And this can be based on historical data, on external data, internal data, and so on. And usually will be done using machine learning techniques, and then goes into for a certain good in a certain quantity that we need to buy, which vendor would be the best. And again, here it's going to be based on historical data, on data coming from the internet, from research companies, and so on. And here again, machine learning plays a very important role. And then when you have identified the vendors you want to at least get information from or get quotes from, you will use probably robotic process automation to automate the process of sending RFIs and RFPs and managing the back and forth with those vendors. And then when you get to the selection of those vendors, you will probably again use robotic process automation or smart workflows to manage the sending of orders to those vendors. And you will manage the back and forth again, and of course I will skip some activities, otherwise it would be too long as an example. You will receive at some point the invoices from those vendors,
right?
And you will use intelligent character recognition to help you digitalize those invoices and process them automatically in your ERP. And finally, at the end of the day, you will need to pay those vendors. And again, here you will use either robotic process automation or smart workflows to perform those payments automatically. So this example really shows how an end-to-end process can be automated task by task, with very minimal human involvement. So based on my experience, you can expect more than 80% of such a process to be automated. Um, and it shows as well how you combine those different technologies to create synergies, basically, to be able to create a touchless process that works by itself almost. And this is very different from some clients being some companies being only focused on one single technologies. For example, companies who want to use RPA only, or who are only focused on machine learning. It's really if you combine those different technologies that you are able to create the maximum benefits by automating end-to-end processes.
Yeah, and glad you selected that process, because this seems to be the key area of automation in many organizations right now.
Correct.
In terms of automating the accounts payable. And then it really demonstrates the vision aspect, right? The computer vision to read the invoices or the purchase orders, read them, use NLP to convert that whatever is read into what's the intention, and execute that using, and thinking is AI ML. And also to execute it using robotic process automation, as you said. And I see that with this, there's a lot of data being, freed up, if you will, and this data can be used for, again, analytics, right? Like predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics. Example in this case, the spend analytics that can come out of this whole process. So it's really exciting, right? Where we are going with both artificial intelligence, and many of them is artificial intelligence when you talk about vision or language or thinking, and then execution using robotics.
Correct.
So yeah, that's great. And I think there are more such examples in your book, and I would encourage everyone to go through it.
500.
Yeah, 500 plus use
others.
cases. Yeah, that's amazing. Collecting the use cases must have been a work in itself. There's 500 plus use cases.
Definitely. It's been a very long work, and we've worked as well more creatively, trying to bring some use case that have been proved in some domains or functions to other industries or functions.
Right.
Okay, so it's really it's been a very long exercise.
Okay.
And making it, and the most difficult maybe has been to make sure that each of those use cases was actionable, readable, accessible in just a few sentences, be able to explain what can be done,
right,
very simply. Okay, and that was the most difficult.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be one big useful part of all the content there. And I also saw that the use cases, there is this whole use cases mentioned, as you said, 500 use cases, and then there are some of them which you brought it out through pictures, right? Like you had photos of tons of paper out there, and you need to process those long queues, and all those really, you remember those things. It's really striking, like an overcrowded hospital, I think somewhere in Spain, and then pollution and plastics. So that part of it, that aspect of it, that higher level aspect of intelligent automation helping humanity, I really like that aspect of it. And from your perspective, Pascal, so just thinking of it, as you look as we look beyond this, petty fights, like you said, the vendor fights of different terms and things like that, but looking forward to the software based automation becoming more prevalent, do you which areas do you see this being highly helpful, right? In terms of you said procure to pay, and that's government, but I'm thinking just at a higher level, any of those things that really resonate with you, where IA can
Yes,
make a big difference?
of course, and we wanted in the book as well to explain, to demonstrate through our research what can be the bigger picture of bigger benefits of using intelligent automation.
Right.
And we demonstrate that it can be useful to save 10 plus million lives per year. Okay, we also demonstrate that it can be useful to save more than 10 trillion USD per year. 10 trillion being an opportunity to double our budget, our global budget on health and education.
Right.
Okay, or being the opportunity to remove famine forever from our planet. Okay.
Yeah.
We also demonstrate how it is giving us an opportunity to probably refocus us on more value added, on more, not only more value added, but maybe more meaningful activities in our lives. And because at the end of the day, if we use extensively intelligent automation, it will help us to remove a lot of unproductive tasks that we are doing today. It will help us to automate a lot of tasks also that we are doing today. So meaning that at the end of the day, we would need probably to work less, and this would be an opportunity to refocus on what energizes us, what passionates us, what, the things that we never have the time to do, and the things that makes us more human, basically.
Exactly. And I was going to say that, as you say in the book, it helps us to become more human. And that's very ironic because it's bots helping us to be more human. But yeah, it does help us to become more human. So that's great. And so, since we are nearing the end of 2020, I'm looking forward to 2021, and it's a season of predictions. People are predicting what happens for 2021. What do you predict for the next 3 years, right? Because we overestimate what we can do in 1 year, but underestimate what we can do in 3 years. So do you have any predictions what IA can do like in next 3 years?
Yes, at least I have wishes.
Okay.
And the key issue that we see today in all companies implementing those transformations is the capacity to scale them. So it's very easy to implement a proof of concept, to implement a pilot, to implement even a project on one specific function or one division. But while 50% of the companies around the world have already starting their journey in intelligent automation, only 15% of them, so 15% of them have been able to do it across 3 divisions or 3 functions, meaning only 15% of the companies have been able to scale it. Okay, right. So that's really the holy grail that companies are all looking for currently. Okay. And my wish is to get this done and to improve this situation is around a few trends that we see happening today. The first one is the democratization of intelligent automation. So basically, using technologies that are more and more user-friendly and that requires less and less skills to build automation, so that more and more business users in the company can implement intelligent automation to help them improve their own work. So obviously, when you have more hands, more people implementing those technologies, you can go faster, bigger, and more importantly, it also helps to build the ownership around the transformation and it helps to make those people less reluctant and even change agents to help the dynamic of the transformations. Indeed, when you are able to implement your own applications to help you on your day-to-day work. You're part of it. You're an actor of it. You own the transformation. So and this participates in changing the mindset in companies towards more automation and more digitalization. The second key thing that I wish will happen even stronger, that already started but will happen even stronger, is being able to use technology to build technology. So basically, using intelligent automation to build intelligent automation. Some others would say automating the automation, and that's a critical element of getting to scale, because today one of the critical constraints that companies are facing is ironically, those transformations, those digital transformations, are extremely manual, extremely human resource intensive. If we have technology to help us to build technology, we would be able to get there faster and bigger. So leveraging on process discovery, process mining, auto machine learning, data discovery, automated maintenance of automation programs. All this helps to get there faster. So those are the few things that the few trends that I think I hope at least will help us to scale further those transformations and bring our society the benefits that we explain in the book, that are about, again, saving lives, improving health, improving education, and making our world more human.
And as people see this and see that, like you say, it makes people more human, I think there will be a point when everything comes together and it starts growing exponentially, probably, right? I mean, it will start growing quite a bit in terms of helping humanity.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
that's my
great.
hope.
That's our hope. And yes. So Pascal, thank you for writing this book, because and all your co-authors for writing this book, because that helps bring that common terminology, common understanding in terms of what can be done, and as well as what technologies can be used and how it can be used. So I think this book brings all that together. So thank you for that. So I'll let's leave it there. And before you go, where can people find out more about your book and how they can connect with you?
Oh, you can find me very easily on LinkedIn, first of all.
Correct.
And then because I'm passionate about this topic, and I share insights every day on the topic. And the book can be very easily found on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and all your favorite places where you find your books.
All right. Thank you, Pascal. Thank you for having this passion, and I hope we all can pursue our passion more and more as IA, permeates all our lives.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Thanks for your time. Bye.
Thank you for joining the Bot Nirvana podcast. Appreciate if you can leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher. Catch the show notes on botnirvana.org. While you're there, feel free to explore more automation ideas, tutorials, tools, and more. See you next time.